Hi, this is Byron with Path to Mastery Online, and that was String Skip Challenge. So, today we're going to talk about developing the ability to accurately skip strings while alternate picking. Also, discerning a pattern of notes, really figuring out the pattern of notes, and applying a process that will reliably help you develop new skills to play whatever you want on the guitar. It's very powerful when applied regularly. So, to start with, the whole thing of this piece is there's a pattern. Once you figure it out, it's a matter of physically training your muscles to do it. So, the pattern. There it is. So, 6, 6, 4, 4, 5, 5, 3, 3. So we skip a string, go back one string, skip a string, go back one string, skip a string, go back one string, skip a string. So from 6 to 1, that's what we do. Now, at this point, once we're on the first string, we skip back to the third and the pattern continues until we get to the 6th string where you have 4 quarter notes. So that's the pattern. Now, what we want to do though is break that up into 4-note chunks. And what we're going to do is we're going to practice those 4-note chunks until we can do it 5 times in a row correctly. Now, sometimes we'll be able to do it straight off. You might sit down and play the first 4 notes, which is the smallest little chunk that includes the skip, and we also apply alternate picking. So we've got 6, 6, 4, 4. It's got the skip in there, so we're practicing what we're looking to do in this piece. So when we can do that 5 times correctly, we're going to add the next bit. Now, if that next bit was something completely different, we would practice that on its own. So we would practice until we can do that 5 times in a row. But since it's the same concept, we're going to just add it. So we'll have to move from the 4th to the 5th to do the next skip. And then play that 5 times in a row. And then add the next bit. Now this takes a lot of patience and determination to not skimp on this, because it's the consistency of doing it and making yourself do it until you can do it 5 times in a row. That's what's really going to help you learn physically in your muscles and mentally. You're going to be creating the pathways in your brain that has this information. Okay, what happens is when we create those pathways, neurons that fire together wire together, which means that the neurons that you're firing to do this will wire together if you do it enough. Now what happens is you create that connection, and then this stuff called myelin is wrapped around it. The more myelin that's wrapped around this connection, the more efficient it is. And what happens is it just feels easy. That's it. I mean, it's when you can really do something like write your name, there's tons of myelin around that connection in your brain. So what we're doing with practice is creating more and more myelin around these connections. That's why the 5-rep process is so important. If you can do something 5 times in a row, then you are starting to be able to do it reliably. And then we move on to the next thing. But it's just like a puzzle piece. We'll add the next bit, and then do that 5 times in a row. Then add the next bit. So we're patiently going through this piece. Once we get to the first, we skip, and then we'll do that 5 times in a row. So This 5-rep process is a very, very powerful process that is a deliberate practice process. That means that you're painstakingly going over everything that you need to do. And I would apply this to the string skip challenge until you can play the whole thing with the backing track correctly. Now that might be this week, it might take you 2 weeks, but this is an incredible piece to develop the skill of accurately striking the string that you mean to, and also understanding patterns and getting some good practice at applying this process. So I'm going to refer back to this process in every other video because it's such a powerful process. So I really hope you apply it, and I know you'll get a whole lot out of it. So next time we're going to talk about open string rock, and I look forward to seeing you then.